So today we are back with yet another industry expert, Shruti from Singapore. So she's an alternate protein space specialist and expert, and she's been working in the field for close to more than 4 or 5 years. So hi Shruti, welcome to the live.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Sudarshan. Thanks for having me here.
Give a brief about you and what you've been doing.
Great. Okay, sure.
Start from that. Yeah.
Okay. I think 2014, I passed out my undergrad BTech from Anna University in Food Technology, AC Tech campus. And then I got an opportunity to work at a company called International Flavors and Fragrance, which is actually a flavor company. That's where I got to explore the world of flavors. And I had an amazing boss there. So he literally guided me throughout to understand the entire manufacturing process line of how a flavor is produced from raw material to the end product. And that kind of led me to learn more about flavors, landed me at the National University of Singapore to do masters by research, did research for 2.5 years, realized I'm not a person for research. I cannot be in lab throughout. I'm a person to go out, meet people. That's where I explored my entrepreneurship side, network. And when I passed out in 2019, I got an opportunity to join Shiok Meats as a program manager initially, which was more of an admin role, my kind of looking after the programs and all the projects related to food tech. And eventually I became horizontally promoted to be product manager, where I kind of led the food tech team in Shiok Meats. So Shiok Meats is actually a cultivated crustacean meat company, which comes under this category called alternative proteins. So overview or alternative proteins, alternative proteins have like around 3 divisions: plant-based meat, cell-based meat, which is or cultivated meats. We have fermented meats. So under cultivated meats, it's more like isolation of stem cells and growing the animal from the stem cells. That's where I worked. So 3.5 years, I've been working with setting up the process flow, SOPs, design, and also been involved in manufacturing plant setup. So it's been an interesting ride. Currently now I am going to start something on my own. So yeah, I've yet to launch it. So I'm going to start something on my own with my background. Overall view session. Yeah.
Okay. So super. So I think your journey has been fascinating, right? Food technology, Anna University, and then moving to Singapore, exploring a little bit of industry, and then your PhD, and then back again to a very advanced field. That's sharing. Super exciting. So in your entire journey from food technology thing, I mean, again, going back to your college days, what was your expectation when you were still doing food technology in college? Like, what did you envision that Shruti will be in 4 or 5 years?
Yeah. So I think when I was doing my undergrad, I thought I will be doing research, getting into either food microbiology lab or entering into companies like MNCs like Nestle or Mondelez, being into the R&D department. That's what I envisioned. But I think over the journey, as I entered IFF, I got to explore that I am more of an extrovert person, and I love to think out of the box. I'm not a person to follow an SOP completely, but if there's some challenge, I kind of like to go in a creative way. So that kind of led me to do my master's. And in master's, so one of the best things at NUS, which is in Singapore, is that you will meet people from different parts of the world and from different backgrounds, and you will kind of explore what you're good at and what first is what you don't like. So in a master's, I understood that I don't like to be in lab. I don't like to be inside the laminar hoods. So that's what I don't like. But at the same time, I realized that I love to go and network and talk about. So my previous role was product manager, which means more like partnerships, collaborations, establishment for food industries, spokesperson for the product. And strategically positioning the product. So when I studied my undergrad, I didn't know. So undergrad padikumbodhu, I thought the only roles I can apply for was either a food technologist or food microbiologist or in production facility. But as and when the journey increased, there is so many roles you can apply for in food industries. Yeah. So that's what I explored, which I didn't know in my undergrad.
So fantastic. Now let's talk more about alternate protein food industry. So give us a little bit brief about like what our industry means, and why are a lot of companies coming in that place, and then probably some of the skill sets that people today who is doing biotech or food tech need uh, to do a, like say, a dream job or continue in what they really want to do.
Definitely, definitely. So for, I think alternative protein space wasn't included in any curriculum 3 or 4 years back. I never studied about it. So in 2019 was the prime. So we do study in food processing or food technology about basic texturizer or extrusion process, but not in specific like a category like alternative protein. But in 2019 when COVID hit, this novel foods division just emerged, and that's where we had this products for plant-based meat, which is like mimicking an animal meat using plant proteins. Another one is cultivated meat, which is isolating stem cells from the actual animal itself and growing the part or the muscle of that particular animal. Then is fermentation based. Fermentation based means fermenting your mushrooms or other ingredients to have meat textures or with meat palate or taste. So I think I'll give more details about cultivated meat, because cultivated meat covers. So this cultivated meat has around 3 major departments. One is stem cell department, then is stem cell and media development department, then is the bioprocess department, then comes the food tech department. And in cultivated meat is the first time where biotech and your food tech is coming together. So that's where we have this merge where biotechnologists, people who are passionate in stem cell technology, isolations, microbiology can apply here. People who are interested in media development, that is formulating the media for growing these cells, that is another department. Then bioprocesses, people who love to do scale up bioreactors, that comes under bioprocess department. And food tech department is where downstream processing, that is இப்போ ஒரு meat or a product or a raw form that you need to have into a more packaged form to launch into a market. You need to process it through some equipments like mincer or mixer. So that's where the food tech department comes in, and then package it. So cultivated meat industry is like blooming. I think in 2019 when Shiok, I was a part of Shiok, it was only like around 10 or 11 primely, but now there's more than 60 plus companies, and the investment portfolio is like huge and so much of interest. So the interesting thing of cultivated meat is that you don't have a reference paper to refer. Only I think past 2 years, with the help of Good Food Institute and other organizations, they've been able to put in a lot of research papers. But in 2019, there was no research papers to go back and check what kind of process to apply. So what we did was, Shiok was working on crustacean meats. So that means shrimp. So conventional shrimp, how is it processed? That we apply and see, and we do trial and error and see whether it's working for the Shiok needs, and then it works. So that's how we kind of set the SOPs. So that was my experience. So the interesting thing is every day is a challenge, and you will have to literally go behind and apply the basics and find a process. Yeah, so that's the interesting part. So I think I'll just summarize the departments or where you can come in. If you say that, oh, I've not studied food technology, I've done biotechnology, no issues. You can literally, if you are an expert in stem cell isolation or microbiology, cell culture work, you can apply for cultivated meat industries. Then if you're really good in bioprocess, bioreactors, fermenters, you can apply for cultivated meat industries, and then food technology. Yeah.
You name 1 or 2 companies in India, so that, because most of the time people think that these are all the technologies that like mostly the Western companies what follow. They think that these companies do not lie inside India.
No. So India, so please go and follow this. I'll actually send the link in the group Zoom as well. It's called Good Food Institute, GFI. So GFI actually has literally collated every single company, not just in India, but all over the world. GFI has a specific division in India itself, where you have so many plant-based meat companies. I think in India, there are around 3 cultivated meat companies, 2 or 3 cultivated meat companies. And there is so many companies in the stealth mode as well, still not out. So yeah, this website is very helpful. Another website is called Kind Earth Tech. So this website actually collates all the companies in this, it's called like a mapping network or something. So really very cool website, and they keep updating. Now it's like version 4.1. I think initial version 5. I think initial version there were only 5 or 10 companies. Now it's like super crowded. If you click the link, and you can see. So these two websites, you can get the entire list of all the companies working in alternative proteins, not just cultivated, plant-based, fermentation, milk proteins, LMA in all the field.
Mm-hmm. I'm just again trying to get more clarity to all the people. So if you are a microbiologist or even a biotechnologist who is interested in stem cell culture, or even cell culture or growth media culture and other things, you can very well look at these companies, try to understand what kind of jobs. As you said, this industry is very new. So when you started with Shiok, means I think there was no any reference papers. I think that would have been a very interesting journey. And how do you think this is going to shape the food industry? Or I don't think not many people here even would know the scope of this industry in the future, because growing a lab based meat would look very fancy, but in next 5 to 10 years it's going to be there on our plates. So like, what do you have to talk about this industry? Like, how big is it, or why is it super hyped up? Yeah.
Definitely. I think I'll answer for why. In my time at Shiok, we did do a lot of road shows where we went and interacted with a lot of students who are like 8 years or like 10 years to 15 years. They come under the category called Gen Zs. Actually, they are very concerned for what they put in their mouth. They are very concerned for the environment. So that is why the emerging of alternative proteins came in. At the same time with COVID, having clean meat or having clean food or having a more animal no animal cruelty food on the plate was something which was very much encouraged. So that was the kickstart for the blooming of this industry. And the concept, yes, it is very new, but if you actually, being a science person, right, or being a biotechnologist person, if you look into the science part, it's comparing to greenhouse plants. Like normally when you grow a plant, it's in a normal environment. You're just bringing in the plant to a more clean, safe greenhouse, and you're providing those ambient temperature, the feed, nutrition, and growing it. So that is a comparison which you can give. So when we kind of gave this simple comparison to laymen, right, they were happy to consume, because you have to make them understand it's not alienated food. It is towards the end food. It's not something. So and this is like the future of food, because with the current way how our population is growing, and with the current way how the resources are being consumed, you have to find alternatives. So being a food technologist, I visualize like in a supermarket, you'll have like 4 divisions or 3 divisions. Like one will be conventional meat or 25%, then will be plant-based meat 25%, cultivated meat 20% or 25%, then a hybrid blend. So this is what we visualize. We don't see competing of one to another. It's more like there is an alternative. So that's why the term alternate proteins also emerged in. Yeah.
Got it. Guys, we'll try to formulate our own food biotech course from Bversity. We'll try to have some industry experts, including Shruthi. We'll try to do a course on food biotech for people. And for other courses, we'll definitely get the resources from Shruthi and share it as a post so that you all can explore about.
Definitely.
Yes. So to all the food biotechnology aspirants, to all the people who's interested in stem cells, microbiology, please go ahead and check the links that Shruthi mentioned. Good Food Institute, and then she also mentioned about
Kind Earth.
A Kind Earth. Yes, please do have a look into it. And if you have any doubts, anything, please also do DMS, and you can also reach out to Shruthi once again. So thanks a lot, Akka, for being here.
Thank you. Thanks, Sudarshan. Thanks, Sudeep. Thank you.